Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Metro. It is September 29th, 2018, and I am, of course, your host, Grid21. And I actually have a special co-host, my longtime friend, Stuntman. Welcome to the show, Stuntman. I think there's supposed to be is there supposed to be applause? Hold on, I think there's supposed to be applause here.
Yeah, there's some applause.
There we go. Now we got some applause. And so Gertron is, I'm going to say, out of the virtual desk for this episode. So just be Stuntman and I. And we've got some really fun news. Chris, say hello to some people in the chat. Hello, Virgil Prime. Welcome to the show. Hello, Creature Please. Music is a tad bit loud. Thanks for letting me know that. So yeah, we've got a lot to talk about, and I'm super excited. And we're just going to go ahead and jump right into this. And Stuntman has some very exciting news regarding the next Minecraft update. Stuntman, do you want to go ahead and actually just jump right into this? Because you were all very hyped before the show. So I think with all that hype, I think we're going to go ahead and just jump right on it. So go ahead, go.
Yeah. So I was like I was telling before, I was talking to actually Virgil, who's in the chat. We're working on a server, and he pulled up the Minecon stuff, and they were talking about the 1.14 updates, and so I went ahead and I started looking up all the notes and stuff on it. Holy cow! The amount of stuff that's coming into 1.14. I originally thought that it was going to be a combat update because there's been a lot of kind of rumors circulating around that. It's the name of the update is going to be Village and Pillage.
Alrighty.
So they're overhauling villagers,
and
they're adding more variants. But I'm not just excited about that. I'm excited because they're adding pandas.
Nice.
So they're adding pandas into the game, which if you saw the models for them, absolutely adorable. But they get even more adorable. They can have babies, which is adorable enough. But if the babies can sneeze, and if the baby sneezes, it startles their parents.
Oh my gosh. That's like that. That reminds me of that video that was out a couple years ago.
Exactly that video, yes.
Oh. That's actually pretty humorous.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god. I squealed. I was like, oh, that is amazing. And like I said, they're adding in new villager variants.
Okay.
They don't have all the list yet on the Wikipedia or anything at the moment.
Yes, we're looking at an article. We're looking at an article from Minecraft.gamepedia.com/1.14. Forgot to cite our source, but yes, that's where we're looking at this. Go ahead then.
And so their villagers now have unique skins for the biome that they're in.
Alrighty.
So they're also updating all the structures in villages, making them more detailed.
Nice.
Which is awesome. Something that we've been requesting since villages first came out because they sucked. They now can have stray cats that spawn in them.
Oh, interesting.
And this is what people believe is actually how you're going to get cats now. Because ocelots and cats are now two separate mobs.
Interesting. Yeah, because ocelots were wild animals from the jungle biome, and then you could actually then tame them. For those of you not familiar, you could originally tame the ocelots, and then they become your pet cat, essentially. So yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. They now have different effects. They can actually, because the Phantom was the new mob that was added into 1.13. It has been the bane of everybody's existence. Cats can scare them away.
Oh, nice! How useful.
So, yeah, and they can also bring you random gifts.
Oh, that's cool.
They did not specify.
Oh, interesting.
So who knows what they're going to be bringing? But so cats are incredibly valuable now, just like I've always said.
Mm-hmm.
Now foxes are a new mob as well that's being added to taiga biomes.
Oh, wow.
So really excited for that.
That's really
not a
cool.
whole lot of information on those. We're getting new stairs and slabs. We're getting a new wall variant, which is the sandstone slab that goes along with the cobblestone and mossy cobblestone walls.
Nice. Very nice.
And a new weapon. We're getting a crossbow.
Oh wow, that'd be so cool.
It can shoot fire rockets.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
fun.
So not only can it shoot arrows, but it can shoot fire rockets as well. It comes with 3 unique enchants. It comes with fast reload. It comes with a secret enchant and something that I'm kind of excited about: triple shot.
Oh, nice.
So that's kind of interesting. They're adding in a new villager type. It's called a pillager,
Okay.
and the pillagers are basically roaming bands of a different variant of villager, but they're going out of their way to attack villages.
Interesting.
So you have something new that's attacking villages now, and
Interesting.
they come with like a pillager bull, and
Okay.
it's called a pillager beast or something like that. But it's a large, like really bull like mob with armor and saddles and stuff.
Oh,
Super tough,
okay.
destroys crops. I mean, the video that I watched on it, absolutely hilarious. It's running around like headbutting villagers and stuff.
Oh, nice. Interesting.
Um,
So it's really kind of giving villages and stuff like some actual use now. Like it's kind of nice to see because we've had a lot of these elements of in Minecraft for quite some time, and you know, without feeling like it was anything really useful. Now it's kind of nice to see that Mojang's really kind of integrated some real new brainstorm usefulness ideas and stuff. It's absolutely really cool.
yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm super excited for this update. They're also adding in bamboo.
Okay.
That spawns in jungles now.
Oh,
That's
nice.
where the pandas and stuff will spawn as well as in bamboo. And they're also adding in a new structure. They're adding in a new block, a whole new block. It's called scaffolding.
Oh,
And so
interesting.
you can build this scaffolding and you can actually climb on it like a ladder. But if you destroy the bottom block that basically holds it up,
Hmm.
it destroys the entire scaffold.
Yeah, kind of like scaffolding you would have. And actually, honestly, scaffolding be most useful for people who want to try to build their houses and stuff. Because how many times have you had to make like dirt
Oh yeah,
scaffolding? You know, like this is actually kind of nice
yeah.
to have this in here.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that for just because of survival building. And they're adding in campfires. I don't know
Oh,
anything about them. I'm going to
interesting.
guess they act like a furnace,
Hmm,
that you can cook things on it, but like it only lasts for a limited amount of time. So maybe that can be your starting
that'd be
starting. So like you
nice.
grab some wood, make a campfire, throw some logs on it to make some charcoal.
That would be nice for
That
sure.
that that might be like that starting kind of thing that you would do right there in the beginning. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know any other information on it. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much the 114 update. Super excited about it. They're supposed to be kind of overhauling the taiga biome as well, because there was a vote on which biome that people wanted Mojang to kind of overhaul, and
Hmm.
taiga won out. So that one's going to be updated quite a bit. Yeah, super exciting update. I mean,
Definitely.
this is adding a ton new content. Uh, don't know any other changes or anything yet because things are still up in the air because the Wikipedia is actually still being updated.
Mm.
Uh, like right now, I just saw a new one come up. Berry bushes are now in taiga.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I said, things are actually changing right now. Like that's how new some of this information is. Is that things are changing even now? That things are being added to it.
Wow,
Um,
that is pretty awesome.
the other update that they went into a little bit is the 115 update, lovingly referred to as modern day update,
Okay.
and it is adding. Oh god, grid! It's a lot. It's it's a ton. I don't even know if they're going to be able to add all of this.
Oh,
There
wow.
is so much here.
That's incredible. That's gonna be
I
amazing.
yeah, it's something. Yeah, this is like information though. It's non-confirmed information.
Okay, so sort of more speculation for the moment, anyway.
It's more speculation on what the 115 update is going to be,
Gotcha. Okay.
and so none of it's confirmed yet. But all this stuff should be added.
Very
I mean,
nice. Very nice.
when I first saw the page, actually, I originally thought this was actually like, oh god, yeah, this is exactly what they're saying it is. Like this is going to be the update, and then I started reading a little bit more into it, and like, okay, yeah, this is not confirmed stuff, but it's something that basically fans have kind of gathered together, put together from like rumors and things of talking to other Mojang employees and stuff. But I wanted to kind of go through them anyways, because it's interesting. We're talking about 1.14. Why not look a little bit further forward and see what types of other things that could end up in the game?
Yeah, definitely. And it's nice to see that, like, you know, Minecraft has been around for, oh gosh, now I feel like it's been forever now. And it's just kind of interesting to just see the evolution of how Minecraft has really gone from, you know, you went from the base game to now we're at nearly going to be at 1.14, plus all the modding. Not to mention the data packets, I might add, in 1.13, which really added some huge diverse stuff for the game.
Thing.
Yes,
that's a huge thing that me and Virgil were actually playing with data packets or data packs and figuring out how to add new custom blocks and stuff to the game using those. And we're pretty close to figuring out 100% on how they work, and you can do a lot with them. I mean, it's a lot.
For our listeners, to kind of explain a little bit what data packs are, and some of you can definitely correct me as I go. Basically, they add certain additional retexturing and reuse of certain blocks that you wouldn't normally think of. For example, I think one of them is an armor stand, could be like a closet, and it's very vanilla to the game, and it's just a matter of just adding a custom restructure to the whole block itself. But it's not modded. It's part of the game natively. It's just how you utilize that native use of blocks and stuff, basically, correct?
Yeah.
So
so one thing that that's been kind of talked about is that there's going to be new tables and chairs.
Okay.
That's something that a Mojang employee or something at one point in time tweeted out. Like, it was a picture of just a table and some chairs.
Interesting.
And so that was all that was kind of tweeted out about it. So these are kind of the new mobs people are thinking about, is pigeons and gooses or geese.
Interesting.
New kind of like neutral mobs. For transportation, bicycle.
In Minecraft, a bicycle?
Yeah. And then a carriage.
Interesting. Yeah, because
you can hook horses up to.
Give horses a new use.
Yeah.
Now, something that I personally kind of, I mean, there's quite a few things I wish I could, because like it's kind of like with Minecraft, it's like, you know, it strikes the balance between, like, it feels like a medieval game, but it could definitely be like a very modern game at the same time, you know, because you have very medievalist with things being made out of wood, cobblestone and stuff, and then you kind of like add these additional things with, you know, somebody could perhaps create a data pack where something might be a car, for example. You know, you go through this whole like it sort of like reminds me of the evolution of how Age of Empires works. You go from the very primitive of your culture to the very advanced of your culture, and you go through the different ages that they so I don't know. I mean, is Minecraft eventually going to have that kind of like age progression type system, maybe, perhaps, where it goes from like the very limited medieval to the very advanced, you know, modern type thing? Do you think that's a possibility?
I mean, for the 1.15 update, there's still a lot of things up in the air. I mean, like I want to iterate, a lot of this stuff is based on what the community wants in this next update. It's what they're gathering from rumors. It's I mean, it's pretty much a conglomerate of information all kind of shoved into one place. That some of it is confirmed, some of it's non-confirmed, and there's no difference on the way that it's displayed. So I don't know what's confirmed and what's not confirmed. I'm basically reading off a list right now, but maybe I might find out some more information here in the future, but this is kind of some of the things that are coming out. But the carriage was kind of a really interesting idea because it would give more of a use for the horses as well. Basically, it was like you could hook horses up to it and can carry up to 4 people with a driver.
Wow.
So then there was trains. People are saying that this is more of like a big fandom thing. People have been wanting trains for a while. That's not confirmed. Mojang's never talked about it before. I know that for a fact. Yeah. So that's more of like what people are really, really wanting.
Gotcha.
There's also a ship. I've never heard them talk about ships before either. But it's basically just a large type of boat.
That'd be amazing to have ships in Minecraft, because it would just really it would just make Minecraft feel so much more I don't know, just it's especially if you're making a medieval kingdom based type of server
yeah.
for sure.
Now, if here's a couple of things though that I really think that they could add to the game and would be easy to add to the game, and that they might consider. Colored redstone lamps. So you can color the redstone lamps. That would be really interesting, and I think Mojang would be interested in that. A clock, like a grandfather clock, that would be easy.
Interesting.
And one of the things that's been kind of out there for a little while now that I know of within the last about 2 to 3 years, has been a piano. People have really wanted pianos in the game, of like where you could actually program notes into a piano
Interesting.
using a simple system, and that you could then go online and actually download songs to the piano as well, like using
you could do
using
it through
other
MIDI
people's-
through MIDI implementation in the game.
Yeah, that's people are really wanting to kind of put that into the game. I don't know if Mojang's ever talked about it. Chair, and then the wooden table and iron table. Those are things that have been talked about quite a bit.
Wow.
Cool. But yeah, there's a lot of things in this 1.15 update that people are really, really wanting.
Nice.
So there is a few confirmed things with 1.15, I believe. Is they're updating the combat again, and they're updating the graphics a bit.
Gotcha. Interesting.
So, yeah,
let me go ahead and read a little bit from chat here. So hello, Blue Angel, welcome to the show. Blue Angel says we have boats, but then Creature then counter says boats only seat 2 people though, which is correct. If we had ships, we could put like whole chests of storage or whatever and expand. I mean, imagine that, we've always kind of wanted backpacks in the game. I certainly wanted backpacks. But there's, I mean, and even implementing things like a MIDI player would definitely be pretty easy. Grid's ignoring chat. I am not. See, Stanley never ignores. He loves us too much. Oh gosh. So, but yeah, definitely very cool. And speaking of things that are somewhat of a large update, it might affect you because we're going to try to move down the article train pretty quick here. The next, it seems that the next Windows update could perhaps take up more storage than usual. Did I write show notes for myself? Because I'm very bad at doing this. I took a quote from, this comes from kimcommando.com. The next Windows 10 update will take up to 10 gigabytes of users' main hard drive for their computers, according to kimcommando.com. Quote is saying, Microsoft has, your curse is in the way there. Sorry, it's floating over as your username. Oh. Thank you. Microsoft has started issuing warnings to Windows 10 users with limited storage space. The warning states if your system doesn't have enough space, it may fail to initialize after running Windows Update. The warning is mostly directed to thin clients and embedded systems, but it should also apply to older Windows 10 machines with limited 32 gigabyte storage. Chances are, with the size of all the recent Windows 10 updates, owners of this type of these types of machines always get these Windows needs more space warnings during each update. However, this is the first time that users have been warned of this specific failure. Windows Update does not check systems for adequate space requirements before initializing Microsoft's warning states. So, over the last couple of months, we've had a series of updates from Windows. The Creators Update being one of them. The now, let's see, I think we had some large update in September. Or a little bit before that, and I think there's supposed to be one maybe in October as well. Now, I haven't upgraded my computer to any major build in a while. I have the one where it says the semi-annual channel, which is where it's ready for most widespread organizations, because I need as a streamer, I need the most stable system possible, and as it is, I'm already experiencing issues, and I just need to reinstall Windows after I upgrade my system. But actually having to issue a warning for an update, I mean, doesn't Microsoft realize that, and this is where I would open the floor here, doesn't Microsoft kind of realize that there's a lot of systems that even they sell? I mean, look at their tablet, for example. That's a system that they make. Does that mean that they're going to affect even their own product when they release this update?
So there's a few things about this. So I have problems with Windows 10's updates to begin with, and how they work.
Okay.
You cannot really stop them at all. I mean, you can, but it's very hard. They are constantly changing the way that that you can actually stop them from updating. There used to be a way that you could go in and you could tell Windows 10 don't update.
Mm-hmm.
They changed it, and now it does it automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Then somebody found another way that you could disable Windows 10 updates. Disabled that, and now they found another way, and it's constantly a cat and mouse game. Microsoft does not want you to turn off Windows updates.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand their reasoning for it, don't get me wrong, because their reasoning for it is Windows XP. Windows XP and Windows 7. People were disabling their updates, and they were getting out of date, and viruses were running free.
Yes.
So I get why they're doing it. Now, with this specific Windows update, I can see a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Especially for people like in my situation, because I live in Alaska.
Gotcha.
So for people that are not aware, people in Alaska do not have the greatest internet in the world.
Mm-hmm.
All the internet companies up here, they're metered. Which means they have a certain amount of gigabytes per month that they can use.
Oh gosh, that's horrible.
So if Windows pushes this update out, it's going to affect those people the worst.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And it could push them over their data limits, which start racking up fees. It's not unheard of for some people that move up here to Alaska to get internet and not realize that they're on a metered connection, go way over their limit and owe a $2,000 bill to an internet. That's not unheard of.
Wow.
I know specific people that's done it. So this type of deal right here, this is huge. And this could be a major problem in the future.
Now, something that I know is that, like, I've sort of heard, now, there's a couple different things with this. I've heard it said that originally when Microsoft wanted to push Windows 10, first of all, I've heard it's sort of theorized that the Home Edition is the unassigned, beta users, and the pro users like myself we're the ones that get the changes of updates. We still get them, but not nearly as frequently. The other one that I've heard is that it's still on the table for Microsoft to even start charging for they won't charge for security, but they'll charge for the really big, feature stuff where you can buy new features of Windows 10. Now, I don't know if that's still on the table or not. I know initially it was talked about the Windows 10 was going to be a, buy features as you want, but I haven't really found anything that actually says. I know in their enterprise sector for Windows, it's been, they have those monthly license fees or whatever. But for like the home and pro users, I don't know if that's still going to be, maybe, I don't know if anybody in chat might know this information or not, but I don't know if that's going to be still a potential, like, along with large updates, and now you can buy this feature. Like, does Microsoft, is they completely illiterate to people's small space, and like people are paying for enough as it is right now? Go ahead.
So this all comes back to something else that happened previously last year or the year before. I can't remember now. So it was whenever the new Xbox was announced.
Gotcha.
During the announcing, Xbox talked about its online features, and it got a lot of flack because it had an always online connection.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why it got so much flack was because one of the main developers or the CEO or something like that said something about that. Well, everybody's got internet. They didn't think about it. Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, everybody's got internet. Oh, everybody's got high-speed internet. No, we don't. And there's like 60% of the population doesn't have great access to internet.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the largest problems right now because internet is starting to be considered a necessity.
Yes.
And there's so many people without it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you talk about rural areas, you talk about people out in the boonies, you talk about people overseas. they don't have internet.
Yes.
Or they have very slow internet. Or
Yes.
there's still dial-up internet.
Oh my gosh, dial-up. Wow.
Which is still a thing.
Oh man.
It's still a thing. They have 56K modems still. They have 128K modems still.
Oh man.
Those are still things that exist in the world, even though it's considered ancient technology. People are still using it because that's all they have access to.
Oh wow. So you could be
So
downloading.
they don't think about these things because they assume most people have it.
Yes. Yes,
And
I can definitely see where and you know, and even like just general consumer products, you know, they make a product but then they don't have support for it, or very good support. I could go on a rant about a shaver I tried to buy at Target today, but I won't do that for right now. But you know, like it's like I feel like it's really becoming like very almost the corporate companies and ones like Microsoft or Apple, whatever, they're getting very inconsiderate of the end user. The end user has to, you know, they have enough as it is. They have to pay their taxes as it is, which is fine. You should always pay your taxes first. But I mean, I think there needs to be a certain point where it's like, you know what, you can do this much and no more. I know that Microsoft back in the day, you know, they got hit with, I think it was the FTC or whatever, for how they were like dominating the computer space back when computers were still in the start of them. I don't know if I'm quoting that quite correctly, but if they don't do that, they'll end up having the same issue again.
Well, what they got smacked for was they were including Office packages in Microsoft. And so they had all these bundled packages within Microsoft, things like Office with Excel and Word, and all this stuff was originally included in Microsoft.
Gotcha.
And they got smacked by the FCC. And it was like, you can't do this because you're monopolizing the market.
Gotcha.
And so they had to split the company up a bit, and now Office is a completely separate entity.
Mm-hmm.
They thought that they were going to have to split Internet Explorer too.
Oh my gosh.
But because there was other browsers out there for free, they didn't have to.
Interesting.
So, but that was a major thing too. But Microsoft is a very big company. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Virgil works for Microsoft.
Yes, I was. I remember having a bit of a conversation with him about that. Yes.
So I have to watch what we say.
But yeah, like I don't know. I think at some point there needs to be some kind of cutoff point with it. I'm sorry for anybody who has to deal with this, but anybody that is, you know, there's some very basic ways that it's on Kim Commando's website. I'm not sure how recent the article is, or if they still have it up there, but it talks about some ways of clearing your storage, and of course do backups like every tech person suggests, because you never know when something can go wrong. I've had things happen with Windows many a time, and I learned a lot, but I hated it. I hated the moment when it happened. But yeah, that's what's new coming out of Microsoft. And moving down the article train, speaking of some really cool things, for the people who sit down too much, bike pedal operated Audi burns calories as you drive. Again, I gotta go look back at my show notes because like host note, article is fairly short with a video. Okay. I love it when I write this. I don't ever sometimes I put show notes and sometimes I freestyle, and I think this is one of those days where I need to freestyle. A new startup has to...
I don't know anything about this, so I mean, this is... Yeah.
Here we go. All right. We're exploring the first time together. Excuse me in advance if I butcher any particular name or don't... I tried to pre-read articles, but this is one I didn't pre-read, so this is going to be super fun. A new startup has developed a way to get lazy people to work up a sweat just by driving to work. The Fit Car PPV has been developed by Nesser AI Schwarf and Dutch engineering company BPO. The prototype PPV pedal-powered vehicle is based on Audi's A4 Avant powered by the regular 2.0-liter four-cycle gas engine, but control of its acceleration and braking is nothing like seen in a car before. The PPV has removed the accelerator pedal, and it's in place of a pair of bicycle pedals hooked up to a flywheel. The accelerator is controlled by an active pedaling motion rather than depressing the pedal in a conventional vehicle. This setup generates an electronic pulse to the engine, the accelerator. Fitcar has removed the brake too, and replaced it with a hand brake located at the steering column. Oh my gosh, I can see more accidents. The insurance prices are going to go through the roof with this. The concept allows time-crunched people to get use of their commute to and from work. It is also extremely similar to the car, the Flintstones, a cartoon.
They're comparing it to Flintstones.
That's great. And so there's a quote from Nestor A.F. Schwartz. I work in many cities around the world where a 60-minute plus car commute each day is not uncommon. This is an unhealthy way to waste more than 2 hours every day. So I came up with the idea of the Fitcar, which does exactly the same as a conventional car, getting us safely and comfortably from point A to point B. However, you may not be here. Okay, I've already got to take this apart. Okay, you're pedaling your car to work. You get out, but you don't want to get out of your car because you're so tired from pedaling to work.
You went exactly the place I was going to get to. Before I worked like from at-home jobs and office jobs and crap like that, I'm already tired enough when I wake up in the morning. I don't need to get on a bicycle-powered car. I mean, that's just asking for trouble. I'm gonna get to wherever I worked at, and I'll be like, oh, wow, I'm pretty tired. I'm gonna get out of the car. I'm gonna immediately collapse because my legs don't want to work. I mean, you're just asking for trouble.
The idea of the car was so that we didn't have to walk or work to go to work, right? Because we're already working our butts off, standing off. Go ahead.
And okay, so Virgil made a really great point in chat as well. Like, but people already bike to work. Then just bike to work. I mean,
yeah, just I think this is where I would play a soundbite, and this is my reaction. Like, excuse me, kind of a thing. I mean,
yeah.
Like, it's because not only that, but like for safety concerns, I would be concerned about this, because if you get into an accident with this thing and they can't get the driver out because his feet are stuck on the bike pedals.
Well, we can't get him out of the car, sir. Why? His feet are stuck in the bike pedals.
Oh man, I feel bad for tearing it apart, but I mean, it's like, I can understand they want to burn calories, but people want to burn calories to already go to a gym. That's what a gym is for. That's what a bike is for.
Or they run in the morning, or they exercise at home at night before they go to bed.
Exactly.
There's plenty of other ways to exercise. You don't need to add something that's a potential hazard into a car that we already have enough distractions as it is.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
I mean,
because you have enough people as it is who are typing on their phones. They're texting and driving, and then they're going like this. Like pedaling, like. I just got that one more.
Here's the deal. Okay. So this is what's going to happen. We've already got the iPad mount in your car. You got the cell phone, and now you've got the bicycle pedals. So now you got somebody doing the bicycle pedals, playing with the iPad to change their music, and then they're checking their phone and texting their friends on it, and checking their makeup in the mirror. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it all at the same damn time. Let's go. It's a walking disaster. I mean, we've already got enough things to distract drivers on the damn road. And can you imagine what that looks like to other people that are waiting in traffic? It's just you're
good morning, pedaling.
You're just sitting in your car.
And not to mention,
you're holding your steering wheel.
Yeah, you're holding your steering wheel.
Feet,
like, how do you
you're just.
You're looking an idiot. I just. I wish you guys could see. I know those are listening via audio. I wish you could see what Sam is doing, but he's doing an accurate representation of what it would look like to. Oh my gosh!
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I can understand. It's like it's one of those things where it was better on paper than reality concepts. Essentially, is what it was. Like I can.
So I will tell you the solution to this.
Go for it.
What the guy is talking about. He wants to exercise while he's in the car. There are bike pedaled cars.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been around for a long time. And you could get up to about 45 to 50 miles an hour in these cars. And they're used for things like in-town driving.
Okay.
And they're small enough that they can fit on bicycle lanes and things like that. They have a full canopy cover. And you actually lay down while you're doing it.
Huh. Interesting.
I forget what they're called, but they're great.
Interesting.
I've seen them around and stuff, and that's what he needs to get.
Yeah,
it's already around. Stop trying to reinvent something that we don't need.
Yeah, which I mean
people are talking about a lot, like don't reinvent the wheel. Well, NASA actually reinvented the wheel, and it was actually a really good idea that they did because they came up with a more efficient wheel. But you don't need to reinvent something like this.
Yeah, for sure.
This is something we don't need. It's just one more distraction on the road that drivers don't need.
That's a very valid point. Yeah.
We already have a hard enough time keeping our hands off the cell phone. Now we're going to be pedaling with our.
Yeah. No, I think I don't need to read anymore. I think we're all done with this article. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Let's move on from
that next article. And speaking of more stupid things, Facebook got hacked. Apparently,
I heard about this. Yeah.
Oh man, here we go. Facebook hacked and 50 million users affected. Now, actually, I want to go a little bit step further about this. So you know how Facebook has the one login sign-in for a lot of sites? I was reading an article on Wired today, which would have been the 29th of September by the time you guys hear this, because it'll be posted on Monday, obviously, that it is possible that other sites were affected by this break because of people will use they use Facebook as a trusted sign-in system that potentially now has made other sites vulnerable.
Now I do want to reiterate something really quick. It's no longer vulnerable.
Okay.
They fixed it.
They did patch it.
They did patch it. So what they did was they forced because the way that it works is they put a token on your computer that basically says I'm the computer that's logged into Facebook. It's like a cookie, but it's a little bit different. It has some security stuff with it.
Yes.
And that's how you're able to sign into these websites and stuff using Facebook. They forced that like cookie or that token to be invalid. So now everybody has to relog into Facebook, no matter what they're doing or like on what computer. They have to relog back into Facebook to revalidate a new token.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no longer vulnerable, but it was, and it could cause significant amount of damage because people aren't realizing how far this goes.
Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and so this is a little bit of a slightly outdated information, but for those of you who may have not heard it, I'm going to go ahead and read. This comes from motherboard.voice.com. Zuckerberg said that the company's initial investigation has not indicated the hackers were able to access private messages, change any information, or post to accounts. He said the hackers did try to query our API, name, gender, hometown, etc. We do not know yet if any private information was accessed this way. The company is also resetting the access tokens, as you mentioned, of another 40 million people. As a result, around 90 million people will now have to log back into Facebook or any of the apps that use a Facebook login, Rosen wrote. The company is still investigating the incident. Rosen wrote that it doesn't know if who's behind it, nor where they're from. If you were one of the 50 million victims or the other 40 million users potentially affected, you've been forced to log out to log in again. Zuckerberg says that those who have been affected will get a notification at the top of their news feed. This is a really serious security issue, and we're taking it very seriously, Zuckerberg said. We have a major security effort at the company that hardens all our surfaces investigation issues like this. I'm glad that we found this and we're able to fix the vulnerability and secure the accounts. It definitely is an issue that this is happening in the first place. This underscores the attack that our platform and community face. Now, the thing that didn't quite make a lot of sense, though, is that they didn't advise users to change their passwords. So how does a token reset supersede reset?
So I'm not fully versed on this myself. I don't know a lot about it, but from what I understand, it was the token itself that was compromised, and that hackers were in the process of utilizing the tokens to get into Facebook accounts when it was first discovered. So they were querying the APIs, and what they were trying to gather, instead of changing people's passwords, was to get their passwords.
Okay.
Because that's the bread and butter.
Gotcha. Yes.
If you can get passwords. Because if you can get the passwords, then more than likely those users have used that password on another website.
Yes. Okay, I can see where that would make sense. Yeah.
So they were also using the OAuth tokens to try to log into other websites as well, and they were having some success with that. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's become such a huge problem, because they realized that they could just use the OAuth token itself to get into other websites.
Gotcha. Interesting.
We don't know how far-reaching that is.
Okay.
We don't know how many websites have been affected. We don't know, because it could have been a much bigger problem if it was discovered later, but it was discovered pretty quick.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. But it doesn't look too good for Facebook, and they're already have been in some very hot water as it is. Now I had seen a video from NetLinked Daily, which is produced by Linus Tech Tips, that apparently there was there was somebody that had come onto some, I guess, news site and said that he was going to attempt to hack Facebook, but then was later, I guess, caught or discouraged, but then the attacks still ended up happening anyway. So I don't know if there was any kind of a connection, or if it was just they thought they got the guy and then it happened anyway, or if there was a string of people that were. So it'd be interesting to know how that what that was about.
When people go after things like Facebook, like these big entities, a lot of them don't do it themselves. They do it in a group. So that information probably was shared on how to do it. Mm-hmm. And collectively, a group of either individuals or a group that was together went through and started doing this. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's still a lot of stuff up in the air. And we don't know the far-reaching complications. We don't know how far it goes. We don't know exactly how long the vulnerability was left open. We know that it was kind of discovered pretty quickly, but that's just what they're telling us. Mm-hmm. We don't know a lot, and that's for a reason. Facebook's trying to keep it as quiet as possible while they do their
you're not going to tell your enemy what your security steps are and stuff, because they're going to know exactly. As soon as you say one word, they'll know exactly how to do it again, and it'll be super easy for them to just do it again to get back into the site. So yeah, it's a really good thing that they don't. I see you did that for Creature there. Very Stuntman is enjoying a vape over here while we're doing the show and stuff, and him and Creature kind of go back and forth a little bit here in chat, but kind of staying a bit on track here. That it's not gonna they're not gonna say, and we may never end up knowing how they were able to patch or what they did. And to kind of clarify, apparently they were exploiting the View As feature of Facebook to some. I don't know how you're able to utilize the View As though, because that's only for you to that's crazy that they were able to do that. Your mic just dropped out.
Oh, I forgot to unmute myself, because I always mute myself when I'm vaping.
Gotcha.
a lot of this stuff is still up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know everything, and we probably will never know everything. I mean, this happened with things like Spectre. I mean,
Spectre and Meltdown, yes.
Spectre and Meltdown, is that we knew around about what was kind of happening, what it was affecting, but we didn't know like the technical details. We didn't know how like we knew a few things, but we didn't know everything. And it's going to be the exact same with this. And yeah, I mean that's all there is to it. I mean, we can only kind of speculate on things, but if you start speculating, you can get really out of hand really fast.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Yep.
So, but yeah, those of you who just, once again, if you feel like you want to change your password, you might want to go ahead and just do that anyway. But not, I mean, good thing they caught it, and it's good, and we can say the day was saved. And speaking of other things, I feel like actually I kind of, I should have put this up with a talk about cars, because now we're talking about flying cars. So there's a bit of a disconnect here.
So I do have to leave here soon. So I want to jump down to something that I do have some knowledge on.
Go right ahead.
If you don't mind.
Go right ahead. Sure.
I wanted to talk about the 10-year-old that got the tattoo.
Oh, okay. Let me go ahead and pull that article up. If you want to go ahead and
because I want to say something. It was in Bellefontaine.
Okay.
That's how that's pronounced, by the way. Bellefontaine, Ohio.
Okay.
I grew up in Quincy, Ohio, which is only 15 minutes away from Bellefontaine. And then I also lived in Bellefontaine for several years, and so I know quite a bit about this situation.
Yeah, I think perhaps maybe for the sake of time, we'll just cover this last article. And we might end up calling a bit of a short episode this week, for the sake of Stuntman's time here, which I'm most grateful for. So yes, essentially, a little boy this was actually going to be Gertron's article, so I'm going to just kind of read a little bit what his Bellefontaine police have arrested the teenage boy who gave a tattoo to a 10-year-old boy with his parents' permission. So I'm going to see if I can quick kind of skim the article. Let me pull up the chat so I can read. Let's see. The Fountain Police, let's see, let me go ahead. Logan County, Ohio, police have arrested a 16-year-old boy who was featured giving a 10-year-old boy a tattoo in a video that has gone viral. Video below. Bellefontaine police said that they have received calls from outraged people over the county who saw the video after it was posted on social media. A Facebook user named Storm Harrington shared the video that showed a little boy sitting on an adult's lap while a 16-year-old boy, a 16-year-old tattooed artist applied ink to his upper left arm on September 24th. Nikki Dickinson, Justice Orr with I think somebody misspelled something. With is this? How old is this? Skylar. Man, this is some terrible writing at the moment. Basically, he is not old enough to know what he wants or make any kind of decision like this. You are truly a worthless parent for this, Harrigan wrote on her post. And there was several backlashing comments about it, obviously, and stuff. And apparently, I may not play the video specifically for this, but basically, the child, I guess, at one point was kind of appearing. Was sort of appearing somewhat uncomfortable with it, and then they were trying to assure him that he's fine, and then at no point in the video did the child complain of pain while he was getting a tattoo. Outraged viewers contacted the Bellefontaine Police Department, and officers responded to the home where the video was filmed to investigate. The child had actually asked for a tattoo. Bellefontaine Police Lieutenant Rick Howring told WSYX. Lieutenant Herring said the child did not appear to be in any distress. Ohio law permits a child under the age of 18 to get a tattoo with the permission of the parent, Springfield News Sun reported. However, the tattoos are supposed to be given within the confines of a safe and sanitary environment. Police arrested a 16-year-old tattoo artist featured in the video. He was formally charged on Thursday with 2 misnomers related to the tattoo featured in the video. Logan County prosecutors Eric Stewart said, according to WJAX. So that's majority of this, but thoughts on this? I mean, I don't I feel like a young child really shouldn't be. And now, okay, mainly more for health concerns, because you're injecting ink into a 10-year-old's skin, which is still developing.
This is going a little bit further than what you think it is. Okay, so this is actually a huge problem, because you're talking about a homemade tattoo device, more than likely.
Oh wow.
For people that aren't aware of it, I actually live next to a tattoo parlor for about 2 years. I helped out in there all the time. My ex-wife is and still is a tattoo apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
So I know quite a bit about this stuff. But the homemade ones, I mean, they can work really, really well. But more than likely, he wasn't using official ink either. He was using pen ink.
Oh.
Pen ink is extremely toxic.
Oh my.
I mean, if the tattoo is big, it can really get infected really quickly, especially if he's not using sterilized needles. Tattoo parlors use special devices to actually sterilize all their needles.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are actually even thrown out.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of parlors just throw out the needles and get a new one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of things with this. I mean, there is so many far-reaching consequences for this. And one of the reasons probably why this young boy did this tattoo on this other boy was because they couldn't get one done in a tattoo parlor.
Because he was underage.
Because he was underage. Now, I don't know if there's any specific law that dictates a child can't get a tattoo at a tattoo parlor, but I know by general rule of thumb, all tattoo parlors will not tattoo a child under the age of 18.
I have some comments in chat I want to quick point to. Blue Angel Friend says, if the parents give an okay and the kid wants it, why not? Why not? But only if the machine and person and place are accurately approved. Virgil says in chat, they called a 16-year-old a tattoo artist. Are we sure he didn't know what he was doing?
More likely, he probably doesn't know what he's doing. Because it takes many years to be a good tattoo artist. Mm-hmm. And I mean, even good tattoo artists, they're still apprentices for several years. I mean, it takes upwards to 5 to 6 years and apprenticeship just to become a tattoo artist.
Interesting.
It's an incredibly grueling process. And even then, it can go longer depending on what your knowledge level is.
Wow.
And the problem is that I saw the comment about, if the parents give the okay and, and if the kid wants it, then why not? Because of the ink involved.
Mm-hmm. Tattoo
parlors will not tattoo a child under the age of 18 because their immune systems are not fully developed for ink.
Mm-hmm.
Their skin is not done growing.
Yes.
It can stretch.
Yeah.
Which means that tattoo will stretch.
Yes.
Which means the tattoo will fade.
Yep.
Horribly.
Yeah.
And there are so many reasons why you can't tattoo somebody this young.
Definitely. Yeah.
A small tattoo, like a smiley face, like the size of a quarter or something on a kid's arm at 8 years old. Think about how large your arm has gotten since you were 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah, that's definitely a really good point.
That skin didn't stay in one place. It stretched.
I know as a child, I had the temporary tattoos where like they were just, you just wetted them and they stayed on and they faded off, like that's fine. Like if the kid wanted a temporary tattoo, that's one thing. But yeah, no, my first immediate thought was the initial potential health risks.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's health risks. There's health risks involved and stuff too. I mean, you can have
tattoos
all
can end up
sorts of
being a
different
little cancerous,
problems.
can't they? At some point.
No, not really. No. And I'm getting my text, and I'm out of time.
All right. Well, I'm gonna quickly do a little outro here. Thank you so much, Stuntman, for being part of us. Sorry to cut this off really short and everything. Again, press for time. But thank you for listening to.
We were supposed to start like 30 minutes earlier.
Oh man. All right. Well, thank you, Stuntman, for being part of the show, and thank you to everybody who was part of the show and everything. We didn't cover all the articles we have, but that's perfectly okay. But of course, we'll be live next week and we're going to be actually in the October episode. We're going to be starting in in, I think October 13th will be the next episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. And again, Stuntman, for being part of the show. I'll go ahead and let you go and take care of everything else. Until then, catch you guys later. Have an awesome have an awesome weekend and a great Monday. We'll see you then.
Yeah. See you guys later.
See ya. Thank you for listening to the Morning Metro. All stories and articles belong to their respective companies. Songs used for broadcast. Intro music, Retro Funky by Persephone. Remix by Sundance. Outro music, 305 by Approaching Nirvana. All music belongs to their respective copyright holders. For article submissions, questions, comments, or concerns, please email us at themorningmetro@gmail.com.